anxiously anticipating. Here we are, live on the Metal Voice. Todd Latorre makes his entrance.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm wearing it's cold here in Montreal, so I'm wearing my long sleeve Todd Latorre shirt.
Yeah.
TNT.
Oi.
What does it say in back? You guys see that?
Welcome to the underworld.
Oh, it doesn't say underwear. Okay.
Oh, yeah, it was supposed to. That's a misprint. Wait, that's a bootleg. I see how you Canadians are.
Let me see your shirt there. Todd, let me see your shirt.
You can't buy this one.
Look at that. Look at that.
And Allan representing band nicely.
Yeah. It's misspelled, Todd. It's a prototype.
Queen's Wreck. Yeah. Guys, on the show, it's
Queen's Ricky.
Queen's Ricky.
I've heard that before.
Queen's Richie.
Top 15 hard rock metal songs of 2024. We did the albums, me and Allan and our guests, Kenny and Neil. But now we thought, we got to bring back Todd. Todd, it's a must. I think it's in your contract, right?
It's at least my contract. By the way, I like the picture you did where it says Latorre Feta, because check it out. What do we have here?
Todd Latorre Feta. That's it. There it is.
All right, let's have mine at lunchtime. So
let me just do a shout out to everybody who's watching. Everybody.
Kenny,
are the audio levels okay? Am I too loud or am I too quiet? Is everybody in a good balance?
I have my speakers all the way up. I think you could be a little louder.
I could be a little louder?
A little bit. I don't know what your
just a little bit
are showing, but I'm maxed out and could be a little louder.
Oh, I'm hearing balanced, all good. Okay.
Oh, that's good.
So maybe it's just your speakers, or maybe it's just me. Okay. John, Pat, Catman, Kenny Kessel, Mike, Gina Marie, Tanvir, Michael.
Where are you seeing all this?
I'm seeing this in the chat.
Where? On
K-Man.
On YouTube?
Yes. Far away places.
Just a little louder. Get it loud. If it's too loud, then you're too old.
Yeah, Hamazing. Catman 777. All right, there's a quick shout out.
I say hi to Kenny. I say hi to Kenny. He says hi, Jimmy, and hi, Todd. So.
No jacket today, Jimmy. No jacket.
Yeah. I was formal, but Jimmy says it's informal. So.
I thought it was Casual Tuesday. Isn't it usually Casual Tuesday or, it's Walk Around Tuesday? That's what it is. It's not. Yeah, it's Casual Wednesday. I made a mistake. Guys, top 15 songs. This is what we're going to do. We're going to go around 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1.
And we'll be reminding Jimmy what number we're at all the way through. So.
Kenny Kessel is online to tell us what number we are at. Am I too loud? Am I too loud or am I too low? Okay. I'm going to let...
Guys, let's start... Let's just start with, this is an impossible task, right? The amount of songs that are released in a year. I just simply squirreled some that I thought were interesting, some that affected me immediately, some that I just thought was so enjoyable. I just kind of squirreled them over to the side. So knowing that this show would be here at the end of the year. But again, we're starting with the premise that this is an impossible task. 15 songs out of how many that are released in a year? Thousands and thousands. So.
And it's a chance to sort of, we talked about our favorite albums, but it's a chance to sort of give a nod to those songs that were so great, but maybe they didn't make the top 10 albums list, but you know what? They could have been there. Does that make sense? I don't know.
To make up for our errors, is that what you're saying?
When I was looking up little preface thing here.
Okay.
I really don't listen to a lot of new stuff. Okay. I'm a creature of habit, and I always go back to the stuff that I've listened to for the last 30 years. And if they have new albums out. So once in a while, I'll discover somebody new. It's rare that I like it. I'm just that way. I'm hard to impress. And so,
but it's good. We have a good mix here. We have Allan doing what he does, me who I do what I do, and Todd, you're always
my point.
Bring a little sprinkles of something new.
My point is, I had to Google albums of 2024, and holy shit, the list was going on and on and on and on. And I never heard of like most of the bands I've never heard of, which is cool because if I, I'm like, well, who are they? Maybe I'll go check it out. But I didn't realize, and it was like January releases, February, every month. It was just, dude, it was overwhelming. And so you know what I did? I said, I'm not going through this list. Let me think of bands that I listen to, and I'm going to see if they have a new record out this year, because I don't even know sometimes. And that's what I did. That's how I came up with the list that I came up with, is stuff that I would listen to. And there you go. But
that's a story.
I didn't look at like charts. Normally we'll do like charting, like what was a big deal. I really didn't care about that. It was just like, what do I like to listen to from this band that happened to put a record out this year? That's how I did it.
And I think
a couple of mine aren't even like, I know they're like rock and metal. Like,
I guess we all have different criteria, Todd, and I think mine kind of fits yours. Which these are the songs that kind of were stuck in my head throughout the year. Allan, I don't know what criteria you're going by, but I think you're the same.
I just explained it to you 5 minutes ago. While you're doing this and you're checking this and this, I don't repeat myself, man. I move forward. I don't live in the past. We're going.
All right, let's
go. Let's go.
Allan, what song are we on? What number are we on? Kenny, what number are we on?
That's somebody's number 5. Let's go.
All right, Allan, go 5.
Well, we always let the guest go first, or we'll let Todd go first.
You said top 15, but it's really each
5. Yes. All right.
Jimmy wanted to make it more complicated.
Todd, you are the guest.
All right.
So I'm going to put some graphics for you, Todd.
Okay.
Unless you change on me like Neil Turbin changed.
I didn't change anything.
All right, go.
And by the way, hold on, I got something else to say here. Got to take our time, folks. Come on, this isn't,
Allan's hungry.
A couple of mine, I know Allan has a hot pocket waiting for him to eat. A couple of these were really hard to determine where I wanted to categorize them. So don't blow up on me if like I give my list and you're like, oh, you put this one over this one. I wouldn't say that any one of these is better than the other. These are just 5, okay? So starting with number 5, my pick was from a band that our drummer Casey Grillo introduced me to, and they're called the Pineapple Thief. They're a killer band. I was very unaware of them. I do know the drummer, or who the drummer is. I'm not personal friends with him, but the drummer Gavin is amazing. For the prog fans out there, he's played with King Crimson. I think he drummed in Porcupine Tree, if I'm not mistaken. But Gavin is a killer drummer. So the band is the Pineapple Thief. It's their new album called It Leads to This. And the song that I really, really love from this album is called Put It Right. It's, when I listen to this band's music, it's very like kind of transcendental. It's very spacious, very moody. It's very melancholic to me. I mean, they have more stuff that's aggressive and not like this particular song, but the vibe of this particular song is a lot of the stuff that Casey was showing me. And it, like, just the overall feel of this band's music is super musical. It's very airy. I'm a very nostalgic person, and it can, I don't want to say depressing, but sometimes it makes me feel kind of depressed in a sweet, sad way, but not,
sure.
Just it's very kind of deep music. And so I don't know. The minute I heard it, I was like, wow, I just wanted to let it play. And if you're not familiar with the band, check them out.
There you go.
It's not a hard rock or metal song, but this is a band that I've come to really, really like and appreciate, and I'm digging more. I'm learning more about them. So if you don't know who they are, check it out. The Pineapple Thief, their new record. It might even be the opening track, if I'm not mistaken.
It leads to this. It leads to this.
Yeah. It's called, that's the album. The song is called Put It Right. I think it's the opening track.
Okay.
But
right.
yeah.
And in time, we can work this out. So
there you go. All right.
So that's my pick.
I heard it. I think it's a great pick. It's more on the rock side than the hard rock heavy metal side, but that's okay. Yeah. Why not? If that's something that's been in your brain that's been sticking in your head, and it's good to share it to the rest of the world, and if somebody else picks up on it, all the power to them.
And also like sometimes it's hard to when you hear just like the heaviness all the time, right? Yep. Man, you hear something that's just not that, and it cuts through the noise, and your ears perk up, and there's space, and you're just like, I don't know. I feel like I'm much more receptive to that, and that's why some of these very more clean, not.
Plus, you play metal all the time, right? So you need a break from it, right?
It's
you need to breathe.
It's refreshing, right? Yeah, and it makes you think about a lot of different things. So creatively, I mean, for a musician that's trying to write and come up with ideas, normally you wouldn't want to listen to something because you think it'll influence you too much. But when it's this kind of music, I don't know, I find myself just kind of escaping all of the other cliche things, and it just allows me to be more creative, to be honest.
All right.
Yeah, I like Silent Skies with the guy from Evergrey, Tom Eglund.
Yeah.
It's similar to that. It's very just piano and vocals, and he's got a great voice to begin with. So it gives you that kind of atmosphere that you're describing as well. So Silent Skies is I know where you're coming from because I just enjoy listening to them so much.
Okay, good.
Allan, let's go.
You want me to go?
Yes.
All right. So again, this is a nod to some of those new album bands, some of those bands from the 80s. They didn't make our top 10 albums list, but I thought I'd throw in one of their songs. It was great. Like I said in the last show, I don't live in the past. Try not to live in the past. But Praying Mantis, their album Defiance, Satan, Songs in Crimson, Warlord, Free Spirit Soar, Demon, Invincible. These were all great albums this year. So I chose a song. It's the opening track from Encrypted. It's the French band Nightmare. I mean, it's got a slow, menacing opening riff. It's got a massive driving beat. Lots of very interesting variations in it. Barbara, she's the singer. The vocals are great. And it's got an eerie break. It's a nice nod to an 80s band that is sounding contemporary. So it's kind of an homage to all those bands that had strong albums this year. But this is one track that stuck out for me. It's Nexus in Ferris. Like I said, it's the opening track on Encrypted.
Yeah, these guys have been around a while there, Allan. They've been a while. I remember, I think Neil Terminal was telling us about them a few years back. I think they had another album that was out. And
it's a strong album, but I think this is one of the tracks that stood out the most for me. So
yeah. Have you ever heard them, Todd?
Okay, really, really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to go to the spelling.
Nightmare.
Yeah,
just Nightmare.
Okay, there's a Japanese band called Nightmare also.
Yeah.
Which is weird, but we're talking about the old metal band Nightmare.
Yeah.
And are they? So is the bass player Eve?
I don't know if he's still Eve, but
you can check.
They seem to change members quite a bit, especially singers.
If it's who I'm thinking, he's French. And when I was in Crimson Glory, we played with them. They were on a tour with us, and super nice guys. They had a male singer back then, but I know they have a female singer now. And then I was friends with this guy Matt, who was the guitar player. I don't know. I haven't talked to him in quite a while, so I don't know if he's still playing with them. But yeah, we did like a bunch of European stuff. I'd like to try to read more about, because I think they're a French band.
Yep.
Formed in 79, actually.
Yeah, they've been around the block, man. They've been around the block. They ain't new, but they're sort of like a cult status band. Been around for a long time.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Alan. It's a great band, great song. It deserves a nice nod there. All right.
Yeah, it is the same band. Yeah. So yeah, I did a whole tour with it. We did a whole tour together.
Okay.
Great band.
Lots of toast, lots of fries. Here we go.
Right on.
All right. This is my number 5. You know what? I know a lot of people say Jimmy always goes to the legacy bands. Jimmy always goes to the old school. I really don't care what people think. To me, Anvil, one and only, fight for your rights. You know, it's typical Anvil. It's melodic. It's got that sort of a double meaning in the lyrics. Nice swing drum beat. Lips, you know, he's got a little more melody going there. The guitar solo is always great, fast moving, fun, and to the point. And you know what? I love the double meaning. I really love the, fighting for your rights and at the same time, fighting for your copyrights in terms of music. So it's a fun song. It's a really fun song. I think they're firing off on all cylinders. Could have been written back in the 80s when these guys were at their peak, or maybe they're at their peak today. But I love that song. So Fight for Your Rights. It's a song that I've been listening to throughout the whole year, on and off.
I ain't playing for goulash, man. I ain't playing for goulash.
I ain't playing for goulash.
You gotta fucking pay me, man. You gotta fucking pay me.
I ain't playing for goulash. That was the best line. I love that.
The greatest movie ever. Greatest rock movie.
I've seen that documentary like 3 or 4 times. I love it.
I actually saw it in a theater when it came out.
I remember you telling me, Jimmy, let's go see it in the theater. Jimmy, let's go.
I mean, Rob was a runaway train on this, right? He's driving like a locomotive, and Lips, he's got his guitar histrionics. I mean, even doing like nosedives there with the guitar. There's those bombs, and it's a great track. And of course, they're another band that's releasing quality material, like the Saxons of the world. Anvil's there every year and just touring every album. So,
yeah,
great friends of the band. So we were able to get Anvil into another edition of the Metal Voice. We try to do that every show. So.
Yeah, great drummer, Rob Reiner. Todd, you're a drummer. I mean, this guy's playing is like.
I don't know how he plays in those boots.
And he plays in those boots. He plays in those boots, man. He plays in those boots.
It's like what you see is what you get. I mean, he's still rocking the fanny pack. He plays in these boots. I think Robert Sweet I've seen play in boots too, which is I guess if you practice enough, it's not a big deal. But he's a killer drummer, and to see that they are still pounding away. They do what they do. They make no apologies. They don't try to be anything that they're not. And you have to love. One of the things I love the most about it, I mean, I'm not friends with the guys. I met them one time for a half of a second. We played a festival, We were on the same thing, and I saw them for like a second. And from the documentary was just like the passion, because I don't know what kind of money they make. It's not my business, but we're not making Iron Maiden money here, okay? And it's like it makes you wonder at this age, at their age, because they're a lot older than I am, okay? To still pound it away, and they're not multimillionaires, okay? How many of these big bands or bands that are getting paid crazy money would be grinding it out the way that they grind it out if it weren't for just the pure passion of what they're doing? It's the same with Raven. Okay?
Yeah.
Raven's the same way.
But you know what? You know what Lips tells us all the time? He goes, you know what?
I mean, you can see it.
Ever since the movie was released, the documentary that is,
it had to help
he
him.
Never had to work a day job ever again. It was over.
You gotta love that.
They go to China. They go to Australia. They get paid to play all around the world. And they just did a European tour. Massive. People love Anvil. Okay, no one's making Iron Maiden money. That's a given, right? But to your point, they love what they're doing, and they're a global band. They're a global. They could play anywhere in the world. They played China. People know them there. It's outstanding.
My point is like to see that.
Yes,
they're still being talked about. They're making your top 5. They're playing all over the place. Yep. And if whether you're a fan of their music or not, I mean, you have to respect the work ethic. You have to respect the dedication. They're still putting out new records. Think of how many bands from back then only play the old stuff and haven't written a new record in 20
Yeah.
years. There's a lot of bands out there that just don't do it anymore because I mean, look, we make new records, but we also know that the majority of what we're going to play are the bigger, well-known hits. We still play new stuff, but I mean, we're artists. We still want to create new music. They still
Yeah.
create new music, which I think is
Yeah.
awesome.
You know what? I will leave everybody off at this. Go see Anvil live. You'll have a great time. Okay.
All right,
Todd,
next.
you're next.
So,
let's
Right,
get this
Todd's
ready.
number 4.
Number four.
Number four. Let me
Okay.
go. Where am I going? Okay, I got my graphic ready. Hopefully you didn't change your mind like Neil Turbin changes his mind. Go ahead.
I have not changed my mind.
You ready?
Do it.
Boom.
All right. So, Judas Priest. The new album is called Invincible Shield. And, I went through all of the songs and I was really torn on which one I liked the best and for what reason. And I was torn between Trial by Fire, but I ended up picking the song The Serpent and the King. And the reason for that was, God damn, at his age, dude, the vocals kick in and it is just like Painkiller. I mean, he just is ripping your face off right out of the gate. It's heavy. I love, I mean, that record does have a lot of that old school Judas Priest stuff in there, but it also has, it's like this blend of really old Priest with some of the sound effects that they use. And then, but man, his voice, there's other stuff I like on there too, but it didn't hit me as hard as this one. And I like Trial by Fire because I think the groove in that song is really interesting in the way the vocal phrasing is. But this one, man, the minute I heard it, I just wanted to keep hearing more of it. And it's a super metal song, and his vocals is the epitome of Rob Halford high metal singing, which is, I mean, it's a dying art. I mean, let's face it, all the new metal bands, either they know how to sing and they don't do it, or they just don't know how to sing and they vocalize, which is fine. I like that. I've defended it many times. But when that's all you can do, it gets really boring and really stale and very linear to me. Okay, there are other people that love it 24/7. I'm not that guy. But to hear this kind of singing from a pioneer in his 70s, because when we toured with him, he was 70, 71,
Crazy.
72. Like he's in his 70s, okay? And he just annihilates this record. It's killer.
Yeah.
So that's my song, and that's the reasons why.
It's a great song.
I love the great guitar intro and the chorus especially. So yeah, it's a great pick. That would have been hard. There's a few songs that could have made the list off that album.
Yeah.
I think it's his best vocal performance on that album.
It's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah. All right. Great song. I put in my top 10 Judas Priest, Invincible Shield. So I've said a lot about it.
I made the top 10 list.
Yeah, I made my top 10 list. I don't remember what number it was, but it was somewhere there.
Right on.
I think it's a great album. Absolutely. Okay. So Allan, what are we at here?
Yeah. This segues good into what I was saying here. I figured Accept had to be on here somewhere, but again, that album too, I struggled between 3 or 4 different songs, and I settled on Humanoid finally. I mean, there's the title track. It was released in the 26th of April. Like I said, there's a lot of contenders on that album that could have made the top 15 songs, and it's got everything that you need, right? It's a great song live. I think they opened with it when they toured here. It's got the classic sounding drums, those backing vocals, those chants. Wolf's solo is everything we would expect from him, and I think overall it's just one of the stronger tracks on that album. So Humanoid didn't make our top 10 list, but at least I was able to get a song into the top 15 songs of the year or so. Except Humanoid.
You know, they keep going. They keep going, and they keep adding guitarists as they go along.
Well, yeah, they were touring with Joel, and he came in. No, we still talk about doing a tour together. You know.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah.
Well, if we could make that happen. Every time we see Wolf, or hey, we have to call each other and let's put a tour together. So maybe in the future, that's something we could actually make come to fruition. We did like a handful of shows when I first joined the band. They were awesome. It was I think Mark had just joined. I think he was like right around the same time as me, or maybe he was in like a year earlier than me, something like that. But yeah, I mean, it's again, we're talking about classic bands that have been around. These are like the OGs that were part of this beginning of this shit, and they're still doing it, still putting out new records. It's awesome.
And KK's Priest and the Accept tour, sort of that package. Accept
that's
and
right.
KK's
That's right.
Priest.
That's right. They came from Montreal.
Wow. Oh yeah, that was Allan and I were there. We met Mark after. We met, of course, Ripper and everybody else. And let me tell you, man, that's a great package, man. You go there, you see a great band, then you see another great band.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when Queensryche came with Armored Saint, right? It's just two great bands, a great package,
Did we come to Canada when we did with Fate's Warning?
Allan? I don't think so.
No, I would have loved to.
No, you did. Yeah. You played Montreal with the Scorpions.
Okay.
In the arena.
Yeah. I know.
And then Judas Priest.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
With Todd, with you. We're talking with you, right? And Scorpions. Right, Allan?
Gotcha. But yeah, that's a great package. Great song. And it's still awesome to see, these old school guys that are still pounding it away, man.
Yep. All right, here's my number 4. Are we at number 4, Kenny? Are we at number 4?
Kenny keeps sending the numbers in, yeah.
Okay, what is my number 4? I got to figure it out. Okay, there it is. Look, I'm kind of like Todd here. Sometimes you got to cut through the noise. You got to let your brain relax a little bit. You got to listen to a little more prog, a little more less metal and more hard rock and prog. And, 6x6, there's 2 songs that I really loved. I'm going to pick 2 because I've been kind of going back and forth. One's Ren and the other one's Obelix. And it's Nigel Glocker from, of course, Saxon as a drummer. Ian Crichton, I'm not sure how you pronounce his name. He's from Saga. Phenomenal guitarist.
Crichton? Maybe Crichton?
Is it Crichton?
Yeah,
is that pronounced Crichton?
No.
Oh, you know me. And Robert Barry, who worked with GTR and Steve Howe as well. So you got this 80s power prog band. And I just enjoy listening to these 2 songs so much. It's relaxed. And there's a lot of stuff going on between the guitars and the drums and the bass and the nice soothing vocals, very Asia-like or GTR-like. So it's nice to sort of listen to something else other than metal, going full speed ahead and just kind of enjoying music, right? I was just listening to the album in the car and on my way here home, and it's a nice drive. There's so much going on, and it's just a great sound.
It's a great sounding guitar solo. The sound of his guitar is unbelievable on that solo. So
it's yeah.
So this made your version. This was version number 17,000, that you sent. That you changed it back and forth. So
yeah. I keep going back and forth. All right, Todd.
Let's
go with.
Hold on. What
6x6 Beyond Shadowland. Sorry.
What year did this band form?
No, it was just 2 albums. I have their first album right here. That's the first album.
Is it?
It was kind of like during COVID.
2018, they put a record out.
Was it?
Yeah.
I think this was right before COVID.
Because there's songs like Yearning to Fly.
Yeah. Here's Saga, if anybody's interested in Saga. Right. There you go.
Yeah, Saga's awesome.
Yeah.
Great
Canadian
band. I mean,
so you have a Brit, You have a Canadian and you have an American in the 6x6.
And they all walk into a bar.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
That was a nice curveball, by the way.
Yeah. Gotta get curveballs. Lots of curveballs. All right, here we go.
So we are on number 3.
3.
Okay, am I up?
Yeah,
you are. Up. And I'm trying to figure out what you had. What was your number 3? Did I not get a graphic for 3?
So this band did not put a quote album out. This should be telling you, Jimmy. You know what I'm saying.
I don't know what you're saying because I've lost track. Go ahead. Say it anyways.
All right. Well, you'll figure it out when I talk without saying the name yet. I was looking for an album by this band, but apparently they just put out a couple singles this year.
Mm-hmm.
And we've actually done some shows before, like on the same billing that they played or whatever. It's a all-female band.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I got it.
Hint.
Oh, here we are. Here we go. I got it.
So,
the witches.
Yes. So it's Burning Witches.
Yeah.
They're a great metal band. They're I don't know where they're all from. I think the singer, she's from the Netherlands. If I'm not
Courtney Cox she's playing guitar, right? She's American, right?
Switzerland.
She joined the band
and Netherlands.
Everyone knows her when she played in the Iron Maidens. I mean, she's a good friend of mine, and it's just nice to hear a female singer that's like, she's got that grit and that rasp, and she's not just like doing gutturals and stuff, and she's not also singing like super pretty clean, like I call it Beauty and the Beast, that kind of dynamic in a band. They're just a killer metal band. I don't know, they're like power metal, but they have a little bit of thrash in them, and I would say an album name, but I couldn't find an album name.
It's an EP. It was an EP that they released 2 new songs. That's what it was.
Well, there you go. And so the song is called Mirror Mirror. They have a video for it. I don't know. I just really liked it. I just thought the riffs were cool. The vocals were great. I liked the guitar playing. Like everything about it just sounded like classic, just a classic kind of metal song. From a great, kind of young female European band. I thought it was awesome. And I kind of miss hearing, like if I go back and listen to stuff like It's Me Against the World, like Lizzie Borden, or I'll hear Wild Child from Wasp, or I'll hear
Fighting for the Earth by Warrior USA.
Where
would we be?
Yeah, or like All We Are, like these anthemic kind of, I don't know, it just kind of reminded me of like those good days, those good old days with just good classic metal. And so I really liked the song. I don't think that they sound like anybody else. I think when you hear them, probably the vocal, like you can tell that it's her. So I like that there's that identity that seems to be missing in a lot of metal.
It reminds me of Doro and Warlock.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it got that aggressive, gruffy sort of power vocals.
You can't go wrong with that. Yeah. So anyway, that was my number 3 pick.
Actually, you know what? We can recover from this because that wasn't your number 3 pick.
Did you change it?
That was your number 2. That was your number 2 pick, unless I screwed up.
2, but no problem. We're back.
Kenny, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We can recover from this. We can recover from this.
When I saw Burning Witches, I was so glad you put it.
Oh, shit.
We can recover from this. Sorry. We could recover from this. It's okay.
Jimmy, hold on. I'm looking at my list.
Don't reveal it.
And I see I smell.
See what happened. Right. See what happened.
I smell the crack you're smoking.
No, but I'm glad you put it on because I was really flirting with this song as well to make the list. So I was glad you were able to put it on. I mean, the band, the sound kind of honors the past, but it's very contemporary at the same time. I love the feel of the song and the guitar solo as well. I thought the guitar solo, the lyrics for me were a little bit on the kind of moronic side, but the overall feel of the song was great, and even the other single they released this year was that was equally as strong. I found so.
Yeah, great band. Todd's still trying to recover. His brain is like, shit. What did I do?
No,
what did I do?
I'm grinning at his moronic, his adjective moronic, and then it made me think of harmonic minor, and then I thought of harmonic minor.
Yeah.
I'm blending words.
There's a lot of connections there.
But
so,
yeah. Are you going to comment on the song, Jimmy? Or are you just going to let,
I've always loved the Burning Witches, I think we interviewed them once and, you know what? I think they're all from different parts of Europe. They're one's from Switzerland. I guess they originally started from Swiss. Then I think the Netherlands with the lead singer, with Laura. I think that's what's her name, right? Then Courtney's from the US. So there's a mix there. There's a mixed bag there. But yeah, power metal. To me, it always reminds me of Warlock and Doro. Sort of they're classic, traditional heavy metal.
They're on a big label. They're touring, they're playing, they're doing videos, they're working.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry about that.
I'm glad you picked them.
Thank you. All right, who's next?
I don't think they've ever played Montreal.
I'm not sure.
And if they did, it must have been a while ago. Michael, please advise us. Okay, next. Allan.
Number 3, Jim.
Number 3. Go, Allan.
I'm going, maybe it was the time that it was released just before Halloween. I'm going with Epica, The Ghost in Me Dance Macabre. Ooh.
That could be a cover. Considered a cover song there, Allan, but go ahead.
The moment I heard this, I wanted to share it with everybody. I don't, like I said, maybe because it was near Halloween or something, but everything you love about symphonic metal is in this one song. You got the crystal clear vocals, you got the orchestration, you got the children and adult choirs, the interchange between them, a very, very tasteful guitar solo that really fits the song. I just had it on repeat. The moment it was released, I just had it on repeat the rest of the night. I thought it was a great track, and it's one that stood out for me this year. So,
yeah, because it's a great band, man. That's like a metallic waltz, very operatic. That is a original lyrics with a traditional, what is it, 1800 song? The Macabre is Allan. It's by some sort of a classical composer from the past, right?
They put their own little twist on it there.
So we won't call it a cover song, but we could say traditional song with contemporary lyrics or something like that. Yeah, no, I agree with you, Allan. Epica's gothic rock opera. Great band, great song. I agree.
Would you compare them to how would you compare them to a Nightwish or something?
They're in the same genre.
Yeah, they do have those male backing vocals that are a little bit harsher that the Nightwish doesn't have. And her voice is I saw them live when they opened for or co-headline with Sabaton, and her voice is just so pure. It's hard to hear her sometimes with everything that's going on. Whereas Floor Jansen, one of the best sounding concerts I've ever seen was Nightwish. Every instrument that was on the stage, you can hear it crystal clear. Mm-hmm. And Floor, I mean, she could sing, like I said, she could sing the telephone book, and I'd listen to her for hours. I mean, she just got one of those voices.
Yeah.
Allan, was that the time where you were waiting outside for a ticket? Because they go, don't worry.
Don't worry. That was Camelot in Nightwish.
We did an interview with Camelot, and they were opening for Nightwish. And I go, Allan, I'm taking off. I don't want to really, I'm tired. I just want to go home. And the tour manager goes, yeah, you're on the list. You're on the list. Don't worry, Allan, you're on the list.
Oh, I think
no problem, you're on the list.
I think I heard this story.
And then there's this massive lineup. So Allan's waiting in line, and me and Rod left. I think Rodney was with us. Right? Stiff Rod was with us. Stiff Rod was with us. Me and Stiff Rod leave. Allan's there waiting in line, and then I get a text. Jimmy, what's going on? What's the tour manager's number? They won't let me in. I'm not on the list.
Yeah, that was a waste of my time, but I've met a lot of interesting people in line. So
we were actually in there, but then we had to go out, and he couldn't get back in. So, anyways, it is what it is.
We played it. It's funny. Sabaton has their own festival in Sweden. It was the Rockstad Fallen show. It was the last show that I performed with Crimson Glory, and Epica was on that bill, and we were all hanging out in the hotel or whatever. Really, Simone, really nice person, and I mean, they're great at what they do. I don't really listen to that kind of music that much, but I know that they're very well revered, and they're quite successful, and they do a lot. They're a big band.
Yeah, absolutely.
Didn't
they open for Maiden a while back? No, that wasn't Maiden.
You're thinking of Within Temptation.
Within Temptation, that's right. Well, yeah, great. They kind of sound similar in a lot of ways. All right, here we go. Here's my number 3. But let me get the graphic up. Here we go. Kerry King from Hell I Rise. It's taken off of that album. The song is called Trophies of the Tyrant. You got Mark Osigueta from Death Angel on vocals. You got Kerry back with that Slayer guitar tone. So you have a mix between Death Angel and Slayer, and you get this Kerry King new sound. It's got a nice groove, super melodic, that sort of shouting and barking vocals. I don't know. I think the lyrics are very poignant and political, but it's it's general enough that you could sort of apply it to any sort of tyrant of the world. So I think it's a really cool song.
I disagree with you. It's not a nice groove. It's a fantastic groove.
There you go.
What a groove.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And the lyrics are great too, like you said.
Yeah.
I mean, but whatever like Kerry King writes, I mean, it still sounds like Slayer, right? Like you could imagine like Tom Araya singing on, that stuff too. But
Mark, what a voice. Marcos Igueta, what a voice, man.
Yeah,
what a voice.
He's a killer singer. He does that whole scratchy. Yeah. He does that so well. I can't vocalize like that, but he also can like sing,
Yeah.
And he's got killer highs. He's a really great singer, very versatile, he can do a lot of different sounds.
What's amazing about him? You can actually see how he gets better. Like you could see he practices and his range has extended over the years, and he just could do more things with his voice. I remember during COVID, he was doing U2, right? He was doing U2 covers, and frig, man, he sounded just like Bono. And then he just did Killers live on stage with Kerry King, and he does the song Killers by Iron Maiden. Sounds just like Paul Di'Anno, man. That scratchy, sort of gruffy.
I haven't seen
man,
that.
It's great. Just Mark is amazing, man. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, good choice, Jim.
Thank you, Allan. Which is the one you really like too on Kerry King's album?
The other one you were toying with,
Residue.
I think that was version 260. I think you had it on.
My brain, Allan. My brain just spins. It just spins. It just spins all the time. All right.
I just gave him my list last night? Yeah.
Di'Anno mentioned on the Metal Voice. So we have the Anvil mention and we have the Di'Anno mention, and
the Raven mention. All right, go with Todd's number 2.
Brought to you by Todd Latorre Feta.
Okay, it's bumped up. It's improved during the 50 minutes we had our show. This song went from 3 to number 2.
All right,
that's how good of a song it is.
I think I screwed up on the graphic on this one, Todd. You're gonna have to do it without a graphic.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, sure, Jim. Now you're slacking. We're gonna fire you there if you keep fooling around like that.
All right. Well, it is.
All right, go. I'll do the graphic.
Do a graphic.
I don't know if that's the album graphic, but
hold on. Let me see what you're putting up there. Oh, I have to go on YouTube to see what you put up there.
I put up nothing. I don't have a graphic. I screwed up on the graphic.
All right. So my pick is from the band Witherfall. The album is called Sounds of the Forgotten. The song is called Insidious. Killer band. Like they're very prog, you know. And I mean, really heavy. Joseph, the singer, Joseph Michael. He also, if you guys follow Sanctuary, when World Dane passed away, and they had another guy come in and do that tour to sing in Sanctuary, this is the singer. I mean, so he was doing like Battle Cry and all that stuff, like effortless. I mean, his high range is just, whenever I talk to him on the phone, I yell at him and tell him, I ask him, how do you do that? Because his high range is so ridiculous. But the song is really metal. The chorus is like goes to like a halftime. They have Marco Miniman, who's one of the greatest drummers on the planet.
Crazy.
He was brought in. Zeus mixed and mastered this record. He's done the last several Queensryche albums, and I remember when he told me he was going to be recording Marco Miniman, and I kind of geeked out. I was like, holy shit, dude. I know you've recorded some amazing drummers, but this guy's like on another level, you know? And I told him about how he had auditioned for Dream Theater when they were, before they had gotten Mangini. But I mean, the drumming on this is killer. Jake, who also was playing with Iced Earth. I think he also was in Demons and Wizards when they put that thing back together. The bass player, like this is like metal, it's super metal music, but there's these clean parts, and there's a lot of dynamics in the music if you listen to the whole record, especially. I don't know, it's just a really, really cool song. They they're kind of like, I know that the singer, like his imagery is, he really likes like the gothic-y stuff, that kind of imagery and whatnot. But I mean, they're a super straight up metal band, but they're progressive too. I mean, it's definitely like musicians' music also. But it's really well done. Sonically, the record sounds killer. Go check the song out. I think they put an official video out for this song. It's one of my favorite songs on the record. I have the CD in my car. Yes, our cars still have CD players, and if they don't, we have them put in, because that's the only way to really listen to music. But yeah, if you guys aren't familiar with Witherfall, go check them out. They're a great band.
Great choice there, Todd. I got to say, man, the singer, he does the screamo thing, but then right when you think he's just going to be a screamo singer, he starts kicking into Rob Halford.
Yeah.
Sort of vocal gymnastics.
He can do that, right? Yeah.
And he's he's like hybrid. Like, he reminds me of my third singer, Stu Block. Yeah. It reminds me of, because Stu does that sort of screamo stuff, and then he just goes into that sort of Halford thing. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And the drumming, oh my Lord.
The drumming's
it's just another level. I don't even know how people could play that fast.
But like what Marco does that I love is, like, even though he can play extreme music, he knows when and where to do things. He's not just playing all over everything. So everything is in context with the music and how they wanted it, But yeah, go check it out if you guys aren't familiar with them, and the that song in particular. It's fucking heavy as shit.
Yeah, it reminded me a bit of Metal Church for some reason. I don't know why, but I just, when I heard him, like, it's like old time metal Church. So, but a great track. Thanks for bringing that to us. I mean, it's something I normally wouldn't even know that it existed, and it was a great listen. Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed that too. Okay, Allan.
Yeah, this was released in
what are we at? What are we at? Number 2?
Number 2, Jim. Number 2. Jim.
All right.
If you're not sure, just check in with Kenny. And this was released on October 25th. This album made my top 10 albums. This is the title track off of Kings of Mercia's Battle Scars. I mean, it's a song about somebody coming back from, battle, and he's kind of trying to get back to life the way it was before he went off, and he's struggling with getting back to normalcy. It starts very soulful, very hopeful, even sometimes mournful, and it just works. It slowly builds and builds to kind of a more positive feeling ending, and just the guitar tone of Jim Matthias from Fate's Warning on this is the guitar's tone, and the singing too, the very, very soulful kind of Paul Rogers kind of bluesy kind of sound. I mean, for this is one, when I was listening to that album, I thought the album was great, but then this one song, this is my more mellow moment out of, so you each had one, this would be mine, and it just struck me. It's a song that struck me probably the most out of the whole year. Just the way it builds and the message and everything about this song. I just thoroughly enjoyed it. So,
yeah, I agree with you, Allan. I mean, you put in your top 5, right? This year, the album, it was number 1.
Yeah.
Was it number 1 or number 2?
I think it was number 1. Yeah,
number 1. There you go. So I guess you loved it that much, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of this band.
Joey Vera on bass.
How have I never?
I know,
dude.
You're on tour.
Steve
That's why.
Overland from
You're on
Epica.
tour. You're on tour, and you lose track, right? You lose track.
This is their second album, Todd.
Dude, I know, because I just Googled it, and they put a record out in 2022, self-titled, and then Battle Scars in this year. And I feel like such an idiot that I don't know this.
It's okay. You're all right. We'll let it go. We'll let it go.
If you like Bad Company, if you like that type of hard rock, you're gonna love this album.
And the thing that's shitty is I'm friends with like
awkward.
So I know Simon Phillips. I'm good buddies with Joey Vera and Jim. In fact, I just ran into Jim in New Hampshire. We were playing. I walked into this. Me and Joe, the owner of Rat Pack Records, we walked into this music store, and we're like, I was gonna buy a guitar. I didn't buy it, but we were in the room playing, and like some time goes by, and this guy goes, Are you the singer of Queensryche? I said, yeah. He goes, holy shit, what are you doing there? I go, well, we're playing tonight down the street. And then a minute later, there's Jim Matthias right in front of my face. I go, oh my God, what are you doing here? He goes, well, I heard somebody say Queensryche. And then I turned and I looked. I go, what are you doing in here? He lives not that far away. And like, I'm always like, hey man, what have you been up to? But he's kind of like off the grid. He writes and records, he's not like out there touring and doing, he's done that for so long. He's just kind of just doing his thing with the writing and recording. And I feel like such an idiot that I don't know this, but I can't wait to dig into this entire 2 records. Because I love Jim's writing.
He actually released North Sea Echoes this year too. I think that's with Ray Alder singing, right, Jim?
Yeah.
And but you want to get back to, like you were saying about your pick earlier of the Pineapple Thief, airiness and that. Check that out, North Sea Echoes. I think you'll really enjoy it. So,
what's it called?
North Sea Echoes.
Was that 2024 or 23? I don't remember.
It was early in 2024.
Okay. Yeah, I remember. Okay. Yeah. Well, he's such an unorthodox writer, and I mean, there isn't anything from Fates that I don't really like, and he's just one of those unique writers that nobody writes like Jim. And I mean, gosh, Simon's playing is just ridiculous. But who is the vocalist on this? This is
Steve Overland from the band FM.
Isn't Jim Matthias Greek?
Greek, yeah.
He's Greek. This guy's a Greek guy. Brought to you by Torre Feta.
Feta.
He is Greek.
Jim Matthias Tzatziki.
Yes, I had my tzatziki at lunchtime.
Wait a minute.
And a lifto. And a lifto.
All right, Jim, we go to your number 2.
All right, let's go to number 2.
By the way,
yes,
I'm eating real feta, and
yes.
my wife makes the best homemade tzatziki. Oh my god! I think I've gained 5 pounds since I got home from Torre.
meanwhile, Allan's got pizza pockets waiting for him.
That's all right. I'm with you in spirit.
That's it. You two guys keep rubbing it in. That's all right.
Okay.
I'm gonna be a real Kafros and drink from the jug.
Look at you, man. Look at you.
It's all that salty feta.
Tzatziki. All right, here you go, guys. This is kind of tough for me because, you're good friends with someone and you're trying to separate the friendship from the review. Giles Lavery, Mark Zonder, they reunited Warlord. They put the band back together in honor of Bill Samus. And they took sort of the music that he wrote over the years and never used, or I guess he was writing a new album. So they took that. They sort of got some of the members over the years. And Giles was a member of the band, a touring member, let's say 10 years ago. They got all these guys back together and got a new guitarist. And they put out this new album called Free Spirit Soar. It's brand new. And let me tell you, it is friggin' good. It really honors the classic Warlord sound. I don't know if anybody out there follows Warlord. It's a very cult status band that came, they started in 82, 83, Allan, around there. They had an EP, Deliver Us, and then they come out with their second album. Then sporadically over the years, they would release albums, but they've always had this huge following in Europe for some bizarre reason.
Is Greek.
For some reason in Europe, in Germany, in Greece, in different parts of Europe, in Italy, they have this, they could play festivals. I wouldn't say they headline festivals, but they could play festivals. They had asked to play festivals. So they're back with a new album. Sounds great. Giles does a great job. And the song is Conquerors. Is it Jesus.
Conquerors, yes.
Conquerors. That's right. Sorry. Yeah. So Giles does a great job on the vocal. Great drum work like usual from Mark Zonder. The rest of the band's great. They stay true to the Warlord sound. And, they got some great reviews. A lot of people have put this in their top album of 2024. So go out and get it. Again, it's tough. You have a friend, he's in a band, you want to separate the music from the friendship, but I did. And there
could have been 2 or 3 songs off that album on this list today, Jimmy. I mean, this one for me is the classic Warlord sound. Yeah. Giles does a fantastic job, especially coming back from the solo. He hits that higher register. And that's what I liked about it. He was in a lot of the lower register throughout the album. And this one gets to show off all his vocal histrionics and everything he's able to do. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad you were able to get a Warlord on. That saved me. I was allowed to choose something else when I saw your pick and Todd's pick with Burning Witches. So, because again, I would have put a Warlord song in. I was leaning more towards the Rainbow, but this is a true classic Warlord sounding song. So,
it's kind of like if Allan comes out with a solo album, and then I put Allan's song, on the list. People are gonna say, "Well, what's up with that?" What's the funny business here? What's the funny business here?
Yeah, you actually like it, but you're also fun with the guy,
Yeah, that's it. Did you take a listen to that, Todd?
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not very well versed in their history and all their music, so it's stuff that I'm home till the end of January, roughly. Mm-hmm. And some of these picks here, I'll go back and dig further into the albums that they're on. Like I say, there's just too much music out there.
Oh yeah.
My ears are shut and I don't have the time.
No.
But these picks, kind of help me steer me in a direction like, hey, okay, you guys really liked them. Let me check them out. Otherwise, it probably wouldn't have crossed my radar just because I'm not looking for new releases out there. So unless I'm like seeing things online, and I'm really not on social media anymore. I kind of walked away from it. I'm on Instagram a little bit. Everything else, I'm just kind of disappeared, and I love it. So I'm really not seeing all of the content that's, pushed every day. So I'm really kind of out of touch with all of, and again, as we all agree, there's just so much out there to listen to, which is great. If you want to discover music, there's so much out there. And knowing that I like that old school stuff, I feel more inclined to pick from your guys' list because, that's just kind of where we come from. But
let's go with your number one. I can't wait to hear your reasoning for your number one. This is a very interesting track, Todd.
It's okay. So my number 5 was from the Pineapple Thief, and I explained why it was that selection. And the similar kind of reasoning is for my number 1 pick. So my number 1 pick was from the band Opeth. It's their new record. If you guys follow them, they have a new record called The Last Will and Testament. And the song that I chose is called A Story Never Told. It's not a heavy song. Lyrically, it's super simple. I like their use of time signatures, even when they work in like 4/4 time signatures. They have a way of making them feel a little syncopated or a little bit different. One of the things that a lot of people are talking about with this new record is the singer, Michael, is bringing back those classic Opeth gutturals that he does so well. And then, over the years, their styles kind of evolved and whatnot, and everyone's raving now. I think I had seen something where he looked irritated. I think he said he was irritated that so many people were praising the gutturals on this record because, like, they haven't heard him do it like that in so long. He's like, I almost regret doing it because that's all they're talking about, and instead of like everything else, it's just they're kind of focusing on, oh my God, he brought his gutturals back. Holy shit! This song is super chill. It's piano. I love it, and when I listen to the song and I look at the album cover, I don't know, man. There's just this like sadness to it. I am friends with those guys, and the next time I talk to him, I want to ask him about the cover because
brilliant.
I'm curious how there's just this. It's just really interesting. It's it's not like this it's not like this typical metal thing. It's this portrait. Did you put the graphics up?
I could put them on again. I did.
Yeah, put them on again for.
I could tell you more about the cover if you want, but go ahead.
Oh, well, I would love to hear. Yeah, if you obviously know more than I do, but I love the cover. The girl in the wheelchair in the corner, I don't know, man. There's just something really sinister, but melancholic and historical looking. Or is this people in his family? Are these famous people? Like, what are we looking at?
Have you ever seen the television series Succession?
I have not.
Have you heard about it, Allan? You?
No.
Yeah, I've heard of it, but I never.
So Succession's about this millionaire, billionaire tycoon guy, and he has got all these children who are sort of idolizing the father, that bigwig father, because he's got all the money, right? Who is he going to leave his inheritance to? So this picture is actually sort of the family in a sense. And the story of The Last Will and Testament is about a father who's going to leave his money, but nobody knows what the last will and testament, who it's going to. So they're all sort of fighting, or at least it seems like they're fighting over, you got to follow the story. It's a little vague, but that's kind of the premise of it all, where the father, this tycoon of sorts or billionaire, and the children are waiting to see if they're in the will and what goes on.
So there was a Netflix series.
Succession.
Was that the Netflix series? No. hold on.
Or Prime.
Okay, this isn't it. There was a series, and I can't think of the name, and it kind of had the same thing. It was really bizarre, but like, yeah, the family, like the dad had like all this money, like this empire, blah
And he's
blah blah.
dangling it in front of the kids, right? And the kids are like seals, with
and
trying to get the fish.
And the kids, like, they, in this show anyway, they like backstabbed each other, and they're nobody's loyal. They're not really loyal to the family.
Exactly.
They're just trying to get the money. By the way, something else I wanted to say. I know that Michael, the singer and one of the guitarists. I assume he's the primary songwriter.
He is the primary songwriter. Yeah.
Call me crazy, but I swear he's like, I feel like he's the Frank Zappa of my generation.
I agree. Yeah.
He's just, Frank Zappa was out there. I mean, this guy puts music together in a way that feels less kind of kooky, I mean, the humor of Frank Zappa and the such an interesting guy, but I just think that I think this guy is just like a genius of a song.
He does not give a shit what people think. He just does what he feels.
But that's what you should do. That's every artist.
Yeah.
Listen, every artist, if they're going to be the most true of an artist, they should only write for themselves and never write wondering or trying to pacify their audience. Now, bands do it all the time because it's a business, and you don't want to alienate your fans by doing different things. But if you're going to cut the bullshit and be as real as you can really be, you should only ever write for yourself. And if the people embrace it, awesome. If they don't, that's okay too. You're not going to please everyone every time, but you should always create for yourself first. And he does that. And, look, Opeth took some flack for the direction they took over the years and blah, blah, blah. And I'm not saying, that it's always the best decision business-wise,
Some people could just get away with it.
Some people can get away with it.
Connects. It just connects. It just connects.
Yeah. Some people get away with it, But I think that I love this song. Give it a listen. It's not a heavy metal song. It's not the rest of the record. It's a really cool record. Although, you and I talked a little bit about it's almost like the record is a song, because each song, and they're just there's not like song titles.
They're just paragraphs, they call them. Yeah.
Paragraphs. Yeah. Sorry. This is just the one that actually happens to have it's the only title. Song. The only song in the record that has a title with words. But you're not walking away from this record singing hooks like a regular chorus type of a melodic hook. This record is not that. This requires many listens to learn the songs and the material and the breakdowns, but they've got all kinds of killer. They have like Hammond, like organ sounds. They have strings. They have clean guitar. They have the whole band is just fucking.
Well, Todd, I'm just gonna cut to the chase. Allan, I'll let you say your number one.
Segue into that, Jim.
I'm going to give you my number one. My number one pick was the same as yours, Todd, but the rest of the album.
Oh,
because, and for everybody who doesn't know this album or has never heard this album, think of 2112 as a perfect example. It's got movements, right? The whole album, it's one song, but it has different movements. So you can't, with the exception of maybe the opener in 2112, you can't really say, oh, I like part 3 and part 4 better than part 5. I was trying to pick one part that I love more than the other, but you can't. You have to listen to the whole album and then your song.
I think
that one song. And it's a brilliant piece of art I should have included this in on our top 10 albums, but you know what? It took that long to truly appreciate what kind of art this is. He is sort of the Frank Zappa, well put, the Frank Zappa of our generation, or maybe the Roger Waters. I don't know.
That's a good comparison.
And the band that I love and everybody knows is Voivod, and they're the same way. They don't give a shit about anything. They just do whatever they want. And if people so happen to come along for the ride, great. If they don't, well, that's what it is. So I agree with you, Todd. Me too. My favorite song was paragraph 1 to 7 because I can't really pick anything in between. Allan was confused. I go 1 to 7. He goes, "What the hell are you talking about? Pick a song." And I go, "Well, I can't because there's I like a little part of this and I like a little part of that. And it's one piece."
Right.
So there you go. That's my number one.
Sorry for my rambling earlier.
Yeah, it's okay.
No, it's. I found that song very hypnotic, Todd.
Okay, yeah, it's a beautiful song.
Yeah, The Last Will and Testimony. If you love, and just to end off on this, they started off as a death metal prog band. Then he went clean singing, and all the death metal fans went crazy. They go, "How dare you sell out like this and sing clean? You're not allowed to sing clean." And sort of there was this great divide. He was getting threats by the death metal community saying, "You can't do this. You can't do this."
But he blends it and he does whatever.
And now awesome. he did clean for a few albums, right?
He could do.
And now he's kind of doing a little bit of both, and it works perfectly.
Yeah, he can do whatever he wants, and I love the combination.
Yeah, I think it's great. See, I don't even like death metal vocals, but this I did like. So.
Yeah, cool.
All right, Allan, we talked a lot about that album.
We had just finished our top 10 list last year, and this song came out like a couple of days later. And I'm like, oh man, we missed it by a couple of days. And then the album was released in 2024. So when I heard this song, I put it as an instant candidate for my top 10 songs of the year. And it's still there. It's the one everybody compared to. I'm going with Sebastian Bach's "What Do I Got to Lose?" Old Seb's taking names and kicking ass on this song. I mean, it just,
is this the one with
Orianthi? As soon as I heard it. Pardon?
Is this the one with Orianthi on it?
I'm not sure if she plays on this.
Oh, he has a video out with Orianthi playing a guitar on it.
Oh, okay. I learned something new. But that's it. I mean, the moment I heard this song, it was a contender for Song of the Year, and I stuck by it. It's my number one for this year. So great video too.
It's a little bit of his wife, a little bit of the comedian there imitating Sebastian Bach because he has this interesting kind of walk.
Mother truckers.
He's got this interesting walk.
Yeah, he does.
And you know what? This guy's a funny guy. I was at the Metal Hall of Fame last year. I interviewed him. But his speech at the Metal Hall of Fame was like really funny. This guy is a great speaker. And he could just go on for 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 minutes. And people will just listen to him because he's got funny stories and he articulates very well. Great singer, man. He's still got his chops.
He's very entertaining. I would say he's very unpredictable. And again, you know how we talk about that passion? Like Anvil. I mean, he still headbangs. He still swings the. I mean, I wouldn't want to be on stage. I have been on stage with him actually singing before, but he starts whipping that thing around, and you gotta, take cover. But he's a guy that he really gives it his all when he performs. He doesn't just kind of phone it in. Like he tries, whether he's having an awesome night or a rough night or whatever it is. He's always giving it his all, and he's still putting out. Really solid, hard, I would call it like melodic hard rock, a little bit of metal, but it's kind of like, that slave to the grind attitude.
Yeah.
This has that, right?
It's a shame because, sorry, Allan, it's a shame because you could see how important of a piece he was to Skid Row. And I don't know, I think that's what they're missing. I love Skid Row, but they just need that little piece. But go ahead, Allan. Sorry.
No, I mean, it was a great album too. It was a lot of people's choice for top 10, Sebastian Bach's album. And there's actually a few songs on that album that could be on this list too. It's a fairly strong album, but I'm going with What Do I Got to Lose? And that's it for the top 15 songs of the year.
That's a solid pick, dude.
It's a good combination. Everybody out there, text us your favorite song of the year.
Yeah.
Unless it was one of ours. Well, you could type that too if you like. But great picks, Todd. I hope you're enjoying that feta there. What is that? Bread and
bread
and feta?
You got me hungry. I gotta go eat now.
I'm eating bread and homemade tzatziki.
So me.
Tzatziki.
Like, so good. Let's see. A little rundown. I'm doing stuff around the house. I was painting all day in the garage.
Mm-hmm.
And then the guys come in late January, and we will do some songwriting sessions for the new, whatever the next Queensryche record's going to be. So we're all getting together, and then we head over to Europe for a month.
Okay.
We come back, and then we have things going on, and then, I don't think everything's been announced, but we have South American stuff that we're doing. We're playing with Sabotage, which is really cool.
Oh, nice.
Cool, yeah.
And Judas Priest, Scorpions. It's a really cool couple of billings on those that are announced. There's some other shit I can't tell everybody what's announced, but so yeah, we've got a little bit of stuff in South America that we're gonna do in April, and yeah, I guess that's it for now. Just
keep us posted.
Getting ready for Christmas. I cannot believe the year has flown
and
by.
Festivus is right around the corner, guys. Festivus.
What is that?
Festivus for the rest of us.
Oh, yeah.
You've never Seinfeld.
Yeah, so, we'll hope everyone has a great holiday. And a good new year. Everybody, our dog is having some pretty significant health things. And I'm seeing like other friends that have lost their animals. So we'll just put some good mojo out there. No more dying. No more people losing their pets. We want a good, healthy 2025. And I don't know what's in the cards for me with that, with some.
And I say,
but
the end of the show. There you go.
That's it.
That's it. You like that?
Allan,
I have the bell always handy, Bell.
Your hot pocket is ready.
Hey, all the best to you, Todd, to you and your family.
Yeah.
Healthy 2025.
You too, guys. I really appreciate it. It's good to see your faces. Hope to see you again in Montreal sooner than later. Thanks for supporting the Reich and wearing the Queensryche shirt and my solo album shirt.
TLT.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me be a part of it.
Does it say kick me? Does it say kick me in back? No,
it does.
I think Chris Holmes, he put a kick me on the back of my shirt one.
Yeah. Well,
guys,
right.
have a great day. Todd, all the best to you and your family. Allan, see you soon.
All right, guys.